clouds are circling around. Look at them. They're coming from
We
that way now.
We got to get bit by a big one real soon. Come on, Mr. Sura, go get me one quick.
You go in and you fish.
Whoa,
There's
Dan,
one right there.
Nice
Look at
one.
that.
There you go.
There he is right there.
Woo!
There's nothing quite like the explosion and adrenaline rush of a big muskie slamming a lure at boatside. Unless it's the sudden surge of a big fish engulfing your bait after only one or two cranks of the reel.
Oh, there she ate it. That was
That's shallow water fishing at its finest. Big fish with bad attitudes in skinny water with nowhere to go but up once you hook them.
What did you get it on?
Change it up to a little twitch bait, a little super shad. She smoked it real pretty, spotted fellow. Boy, was that neat. She came up about right as I was getting ready to make my L and just opened her mouth. I thought it was a big one initially. It was really pretty cool. It's a small fish, but certainly an example of how all predators will use rock structure, especially the top crowns of rock structure in the warm water period. Up here for one reason, and that's food.
You know, many musky fishermen throughout the summer months target weeds, but realistically, some of the largest fish in the lake, unquestionably in many bodies of water across the country, live on big main lake rock structures. And right now I'm fishing with Jeremy Smith, and what we're gonna look at is the art of reef fishing muskies, and we're talking some real horses.
Probably one of the most critical elements of this type of fishing is actually identifying the really key fish holding spots. And what Jeremy and I have done, we probably spent an hour and a half today at different points in time actually driving the whole length of these structures and putting down waypoints. And what we're trying to do is hit the highest spots on these structures, the saddle areas, some big boulder piles. Here you can see this is the absolute top of the ridge. And that, what I'm really identifying on waypoint 31 is that high spot, and that's what we're really targeting right now. But as I open up on the 987, you'll see how many waypoints we have in here. We have a whole bunch of them. Actually, this bar is probably close to a half a mile long. And what this enables you to do is to really accurately identify exactly where you're fishing. And when you see a fish and you isolate, you can come right back and really key in on those really specific spots.
Muskies aren't quite needles in a haystack, but even in the best waters, they're usually low in numbers. It's important to fish the highest percentage areas to contact and catch them. During the summer and fall, muskies love offshore structures that break sharply into deep water. These are great places for feeding on suspended bait fish like ciscos and shad. Shallow rocks adjoining sharp drop-offs are always worth fishing, especially when wind is pushing on them. Experience suggests that large, prominent structures tend to hold muskies more consistently than networks of smaller ones. Once you establish the best spots on a large bar, you know fish will be there at least part of the time. Then play the wind to up your odds. The most active fish are usually in key spots along the windward side of any structure.
When you have rockfish, fish that are positioned on rocks, and you've got wind, you've got cloud cover, you have all the elements you need to really capitalize on these fish. Pay attention to the environmental conditions because it can be absolutely key in getting these buggers to bite.
Make sure to hold the broadside.
Oh boy, that's a dandy.
Look at that size of that fish.
Unbelievable animal. For seasonal consistency, nothing can beat rock structure. It's always going to be there. Take the time, learn the spots, mark them on your GPS, and big animals like this will come in the boat every single season.
Get her back, get her in the water.